I must always stop the dishwasher before vlogging, and I always forget to start it back up. So we'll see if I remember this time. Hey friends, I am about to start a weekend reading vlog that specializes in library books. I feel like really off today, really low energy. I've been like sleeping all day. I did that yesterday too. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I feel like I need to pick me up, so I went ahead and showered, and I'm gonna go to the library to pick up some books. And I need to stop checking out library books, but it's the one thing that like gets me out of the house, gives me serotonin, gives me dopamine, makes me feel happy without actually having to spend any money. And I have a huge stack of library books upstairs I need to get through. So this weekend's goal is to get through my library book stack. And so I have a bag of books here that needs to be returned. There are some books I'm not planning on reading, some books Peter wasn't planning on reading. Actually, when I checked out books, I think this was yesterday, we were at the library and I had more books to pick up. I went to check out and it said I was a delinquent. So one of my books is overdue and it couldn't auto renew because other people want it. So I'm taking that back because I'm not gonna read it. What book is it? This is the book I'm delinquent on. You know, I don't even know what it's about. I saw it at Costco and I thought it looked good and then I never read it. So if I wanna read it again, I'll come back to it, but it's going back to the library for now. So let's get out of here. Let's get some reading done. I was like 3 seconds from the door about to leave. I started it up. We're good. That was a quick trip to the library. It is so windy out right now. My hair has flown all over the place, but I'll give you a quick glimpse at what I picked up. I have 15 things checked out, now 17. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know when the user delinquency like kicks in and when they stop letting you check out things, but still says I'm a delinquent, but I brought back my delinquent item, so I should be fine. Picked up White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, and this is a book I'm reading with my book club. I'm not quite sure what this is about. It's like a YA like thriller horror book, so I'm curious what that's like. I've never read something of this genre that is also YA. And I also picked up A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I'm really looking forward to reading this work. I hear that it's a lot more magical and mystical, and like the prose is so much better than some of her other books, so I'm looking forward to trying this one out. I need to show you guys the full breadth of the situation I'm in. I've created a monster. I have a personal library of my own made up. This was a mistake. Now I have books everywhere. Okay. I feel way more alive than I did 20 minutes ago. My goal for this reading weekend is to read these 4 mysterious books. 4, you might be thinking that's really ambitious. It's technically a long weekend unless you're Peter, because his company still works on Monday. I don't have a job, so it's kind of long weekend anyway. But I have 4 books I would like to get done, and you may be like, that's really ambitious. I've seen you try and do this before, Adriana. Not gonna happen. I am here to tell you I am halfway through 3 of these books, so I think it's totally doable. I won't be talking about a couple of them because they are published by SMP imprints, and so in solidarity with the SMP marketing boycott, I just won't talk about them. I started one on Valentine's Day and I'm like halfway through it. And then another one is due tomorrow, I think, so I need to get it done. I would like to read it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And so these are the 2 books I will be talking about. First is The Odyssey, written by Homer. This is translated by Emily Wilson. I don't know if I've talked about this in a previous video before. I've been wanting to read the Emily Wilson translations of the Iliad and the Odyssey, and I finally got my hands on the Odyssey. The reason why I'm reading this is Emily Wilson has written just this beautiful translation of Homer's works, and they're extremely accessible. If you've never read Homer before, you might consider diving in with something like this. It's been fairly easy to understand, easy to follow, and just well translated. I haven't read these since I was in like college, so this is on my to-read list. And the other book I will be talking about is Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. This is Kylie Reid's newest release, After Such a Fun Age. This came out January 30th, I think. This has a fun sticker down here that says Lucky Day. My library has a set of books called Lucky Day books, like it's your lucky day. They can only be kept for 3 weeks. you can only have 2 on your account at one time, and you cannot renew them or hold them, so you have to go into the library to pick them up. So it's kind of like an incentive program to get you to go into the library and pick up the new books. I saw so many new releases over there, just like so many copies of a certain book that I do not want to read. So many copies. But Come and Get It was there. So I started reading this. Come and Get It kind of follows the story of like 3 groups of people in this college setting. So there is a professor who is writing a book like about celebrations, birthdays, funerals, weddings, and so she's like interviewing students on campus. And then we have the story of Millie, the RA. She is a residential assistant, I think that's the term. I was gonna be an RA in college before I transferred schools. I should know what that term means. She's an RA at the University of Arkansas, I believe. We just kind of see her deal with the students and deal with her RA co-workers as one of the very few Black people in that dormitory. And then we also follow this group of 3 students who live in the dormitory. They're just a mishmash group of different personalities, and we see how they all interact and how all their stories collide. It explores topics of racism, greed, money. Each chapter follows a different group, and it is just so interesting and so gripping to see each story kind of unfold from the beginning of the chapter to the end of the chapter. And then when the chapter's over, I'm like, oh man, take me back to them, because then it switches perspectives, but then you get really invested in the next story. I'm just completely gripped by this book. I really liked Such a Fun Age, and I think this book, Come and Get It, is just such an interesting character study. I have about an hour until Peter's off of work, and we may or may not go to the gym. I'm not sure how we're feeling. In the meantime, I'm just gonna read, and then later tonight we're gonna hang out with some friends. I think we're going axe throwing, which I've never done that before. We got lots of fun things going on, but that's kind of what we got going on tonight. So I'm gonna keep reading and see how far I can get before we have to leave. Your hand is like blocking.
It's because I can't.
It's because it's zoomed in and there's this nasty pan right next to me.
I know.
That's not cute.
Morning.
Good afternoon. It is currently 12:30. Just a little update on where I'm at with reading. I finished a book last night, and this morning we've just been running errands and such. We went to Costco. Now it is time to do some reading. I'm gonna have most of the day to myself. I'll have a quiet house for once. He's shaking his head at me. Peter is going to be watching the Oscar short films all day today. All of them. I'll join when the animated short films start. That means I have most of the day to myself. So I will be resuming Come and Get It by Kylie Reed. Let's see, what page am I on? I'm on page 165 out of sub 400 pages, so I got a ways to go. But you know, we're already off to a good start. I've already finished 1 book. I'm raring to go. I think we can get 3 books done and start a 4th this weekend. Let's get reading. Returned from dropping Peter off. Reading Come and Get It has got me thinking quite a bit about just like housing prices in different areas. One of our main characters, Millie, is doing a little side job, and she's house sitting someone's house, and she's trying to buy it as well. And the asking price is $102 with 10% down. And that is just wild to me. I feel like the topic of housing prices just gets in my head a lot. I feel like Peter and I were at the stage where we were wanting to start looking into buying a house, start seriously saving for a house, and then I got laid off from my job. It's kind of just been this whirlwind of emotions. Come and Get It takes place near the University of Arkansas, I believe Fayetteville. I'm not sure. I've never been to that part of the United States. I'm not quite familiar with it, but thinking about housing prices in different areas, I feel like I see so many influencers I follow buying homes, and we live in such an expensive area, and it just like breaks my heart. I am so sick of paying rent to a man who owns all of the homes around here, and we literally Venmo him every month because he's just a dude who owns this place, and I'm like but you do what you must. So I've been kind of griping with feelings about that for like the last hour, and I feel like yesterday I had some feelings towards that too. It's just been a lot. This whole job situation and job search, it's been a lot to deal with. And that's kind of why I have so many library books. I'm trying not to spend money on books anymore. Just in general, I feel like I buy too many books that I don't like, and then I'm left with books I don't like on my shelf. So the library has been good for me. I'm gonna keep reading for a bit. I got about 5 hours until I gotta meet up with Peter again, and we'll get dinner, and then we'll go take a break and watch the Oscar animated short films. So I'm gonna keep reading. There's actually a couple of things I want to tend to before I get too comfy. Firstly is my herb garden. I need to fill it up with water, and I'm just gonna take you all along with me. I'm almost out of food. I should look at how and when to replace those. What I should do is, my least favorite part of the process is trim down the roots. I personally think it's so gross, but they get all sorts of tangled up. Try to cut them, chop them down. It's like very disturbing looking, honestly, the plant roots. Yeah. That's done. All my plants are falling over. Wow, they suddenly have shrunk. They're so dramatic. Some of them are really out of control, specifically the dill plant in the back. There's so much of it. Like, who needs that much dill? Got some basil. Try to take the topmost leaves. Take down some parsley. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of like chop and hope for the best. And if you have any advice for me, like, let me know. After working on that, I feel much better, much more grounded now. So now I think I can get to reading, and I'm gonna start by turning on a candle, turning on the diffuser, and putting on some good tunes. I've made a bit more progress in Come and Get It. I feel like Kylie Reid's books have kind of like mixed reviews. Such a fun age. I really enjoyed. I feel like it was incredibly popular when it released, and I feel like there are a lot of mixed reviews about it these days. And Come and Get It, her newest book, also has some mixed reviews. I feel like the biggest criticism I see about this book is that there's like no plot. I just want to say, I think it's okay for a book not to have a plot. This book is definitely very slice of life, but it's like a character study. We are looking into the lives of these characters, and personally I find the characters to be so fascinating, just the way they act and the things they do. Like, I find them to be incredibly fascinating. I don't know, I'm just curious to see where the story goes, but I see people complain about this not having plot and there being too many characters, but all the characters' lives are like intertwined, and they all kind of affect each other in some way, and I just think it's really interesting to look at, and I want to say it's entertaining. To me, this has been like a pretty entertaining read, just to like look into the lives of these college students and this professor, and just watch as their lives play out and the choices they make and the consequences from those choices. I think it's interesting. I'm enjoying it so far, but I do know this book has some mixed reviews. I still have like 3 hours. I like low-key want to go thrifting, but I know I shouldn't leave the house and spend money. And I'm also like thinking about like, I need to like list things on like Depop. I need to like see if I can resell some of my books that I don't want anymore. I think Pango Books is where people tend to resell books. And I'm like thinking about that, but I'm like, maybe I should save that for the week. And also the whole thrifting thing, I'm like, I should not be thrifting, but it could be nice to get out of the house and just go somewhere nearby. I don't know. I'm torn. I've been distracted by a couple of things, and I think I need to delete TikTok. My book is like open. I was reading it and then I got distracted because people started texting me, but I got completely sidetracked from my book. I want to finish this today, and I think I will. I'm in like the final quarter of the book. I need to figure out a solution. I need to delete TikTok. I feel like it has just triggered some of like the worst things in me, the worst feelings of like jealousy and envy and discontent in my life. And I live a pretty cozy life. I'm very privileged, I will say. But man, I feel like anytime I see someone just showing like their house, showing the ethically made B Corp clothes they buy, I just feel terrible. I feel terrible that I cannot have these things, that I'm not doing the same thing. I think it just perpetrates like the worst in me. And I feel like it's been doing that a lot recently. So I need to figure out something, and I don't know what it is, because I like creating content. But TikTok, I just have this horrible relationship with. I don't scroll on any other social media like I do TikTok. How can I keep creating content, but also not use this app, because it is just eating up so much of my time, and I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I should look into like some kind of like software that'll post videos for me, like a scheduling software. Anyways, goal is to finish this book today. I've got 2 hours until I have to meet up with Peter. I think I can get it done. I just need to get off my phone, and I'm probably gonna turn on Do Not Disturb. But I really do need to figure out something, because I feel like it is just bringing out the worst in me. I just need to be grateful for the things I have and the life I live, because I quite frankly do live a beautiful life. The age-old adage, comparison is the thief of joy, is so true. It just always comes back around. Okay, I'm gonna finish this book. I believe in myself. I can get this done in the next 2 hours. I finished the book, and I have to leave in like 3 minutes. I will have to give a full thought analysis, but that was a wild ride from start to finish. I'll give my full thoughts later, because I gotta leave, but I did it. Book 2 down. Good morning. I cracked open a new book this morning. Just started reading that because it's due to the library, but we're gonna be spending most of the day reading The Odyssey, I think. I finished this book last night, Come and Get It by Kylie Reid, and I have so many thoughts. I have never felt so compelled as to make a like TikTok review and post it on TikTok as I do with this book, because I feel like the ratings for this book are so divisive. Like, people either hate it or they really like it. And I was talking to Peter about this last night, and he made a really interesting point that it seems that like a lot of the reviews are negative because they don't like literary fiction as a genre. Like, the reviews are criticizing literary fiction as a genre. This book gets criticized for not having a plot. Lit fic books don't really have plots. At least every lit fic book I have read has no plot. It's all just characters doing things, and we look at the characters' lives and how their choices affect them, and we look at their interpersonal relationships, their flaws as a person. Like, that is lit fic to me, and that's exactly what this book does. If you don't like lit fic, you probably won't like this book. If you want genre fiction, you're looking for specific tropes, you're looking for specific criteria for your books to meet, you know, literary fiction might not be for you. The reviews are really divisive on this one, but I'm here to tell you I really enjoyed it. It's just such a fascinating college slice of life character study on these 3 groups of people: the professor, the RA, and the residents in the dormitory. And we see how they continually make poor choices and how those choices affect them later in the book. You know, the book kind of dives into power structures and power dynamics, greed, racism, and asks the question, what what would you do in order to get what you want? How far would you go in order to get what you want? And this book is like filled to the brim with drama. Like I was hooked. I was there for the drama. I was really invested in the story. You don't really like any of the characters. They're not all very great people. Some are better than others, but you don't really like them, but you're just so curious what they're gonna do next and what folly they'll take. Such a page turner, and I feel like the last quarter of the book, I was just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? The book has really interesting pacing. I feel like every chapter is a different perspective. I feel like I start the chapter and it really ramps up, it builds this rising tension, and then the chapter ends and I feel kind of reset. And I know that can deter a lot of people. I didn't mind it that much. It was interesting to feel like so hooked in the chapter, like, no, I want to know more about what they're doing, and then we start a new chapter, but that same feeling comes back, like, no, I want to stick with this character, I want to know what they're gonna do. I really enjoyed Come and Get It, and I rated it 4 stars. You know, not all pieces of media are made for everyone. Not everyone is meant to enjoy every single piece of media, and it's okay if you don't like certain media that other people absolutely love and is extremely popular. I think that's up to you to decide. I think that's up to you to read the book, to watch the movie, to listen to the song, and decide how you feel about it and what kind of emotions that elicits. But I really enjoyed Come and Get It, and so that's what I'm just here to tell you. So I think soon we're gonna get started on coffee and breakfast, and we don't have much planned in the way of today. We have a candlelight concert we're going to later this evening. I believe it's like Studio Ghibli themed. In the meantime, I'll be picking up the Odyssey and trying to make a dent in this. It is like 1 o'clock now. We spent the morning like cleaning and getting ready for the day. I did my hair. Just kind of diffused it, so this is a bit more of its natural state. But I think I'm gonna do my nails before we leave, because I took off my nails, and I'm gonna listen to an audiobook at the same time. Still working on The Way of Kings, so eventually I'll finish it. I think I got like 16 hours left, so I'm gonna listen to this while I do my nails. Open this tea. I hate how much plastic for it not being a... Where does it say? You said it was like a plant-based tea sachet?
I remember that.
I feel like it said it somewhere. Maybe on like the display in Costco?
Maybe. They're from Portland, Oregon.
They're just like in there. All individually wrapped in plastic. I hate that. I don't know. This feels like plastic to me. I swear it said somewhere that these were like plant-based tea sachets, and that's why we bought them.
There's plant in the tea, you know. It's present anywhere in our process.
With sound technology?
Sound technology, sound wave technology.
I feel like these people are lying to me.
Sachet not comprised of PET, plastic, or nylon. And the apparently a third party confirms.
Okay, well, I guess these are plant-based tea sachets. That's... And there's no staple or no, what'd you say, glue? No staple, no glue. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of videos lately about teas and just how the sachets have like microplastics in it. So that, I feel like that was why we bought this. We're like, oh yeah, let's try that. But there's so much plastic like in here. Each individually wrapped tea bag. I feel like that's a little excessive. Y'all, this book is filled with so much drama, so much tension, so much drama, like you wouldn't even understand. Like you need to get your hands on this book, and it is The Odyssey by Homer. Y'all don't get it. The girls who get it, get it. OOTD for tonight. And I have a little bow in my hair. Oh, I also did my nails. They're like weirdly sheer. You can like see my nail underneath them. Yeah, it's so strange. I feel like this didn't happen to me with my last set I used from them, but this color is just super sheer. So not a big fan of that, but like it is what it is. If you don't look too closely, it just looks like my nails are done and they're cute. So don't look too closely, I guess. I would have been a scholar if I went here. My school was so ugly.
Just like watched it the whole time.
I'm a tourist. This is really pretty.